Have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? Is it painful when your body lets go of its last stores of energy? Are you aware that you are dying, or do you think it will pass? Maybe you are one of the many that have thought it great to never be able to die. Like a superhero, saving beautiful women from horrible men, and little children from burning houses. Oh yes, that would be nice. Now let's imagine you are walking up some stairs. The damned elevator is broken again, and you have to trudge up 5 flights to get to your office building. Step up, step up, step up. After 2 flights, you are a little winded perhaps. Maybe you take your phone out and check emails to save time. That is when your foot catches the stop of a riser, and for a split second, you panic. Your heart races, your blood flowing fiercely through your body, which causes your body temperature to rise significantly, and you break out into a sweat. In the next moment, your foot finds the step, and your panic recedes, although you feel a little sheepish and hope no one witnessed the miscue. A few stairs later, and your face is no longer flushed with the excess blood. Your heart has returned to a normal rhythm, and all is right with the world. You might tread a little more carefully for the next minute or so, maybe even putting your phone back into your pocket or purse, and you forget about that moment in time. These are all normal responses for a normal human being. Your body senses danger, your balance is thrown off, and your mind knows the great distance you could fall should you go backwards. All normal. But what if I told you that everything caused your body to react that way? Every properly executed step, every change in the wind's direction, every noise your ear perceived, and every flash of color taken in by your retinas. What if your body could not differentiate between normal interactions with the world around you and emergency situations? I suppose then you would be me. My mother told me once that all I ever did was cry for the first few years of life. She couldn't understand it. The doctors couldn't understand it. Pain, the doctors told her. He is always in pain. There was nothing they could do because they couldn't find the cause. The only indication they had was my heart. It constantly revved up like I was in pain, and then stopped very briefly before resuming a normal beat. She had raised 4 children already, and knew exactly what each needed based on their cry, except for mine. It didn't take long for her to stop taking me places, and pretty soon I was left alone in a dark room with the door closed and a primitive baby monitor keeping me company. I was small and weak, physically and mentally. Going outside for even a moment was enough to send me into shock, but I survived. I kept on going. As I grew up and my capacity for communication increased, I was able to relate more what I was going through with my mother and doctors. Unfortunately, it was far too late for any real help or hope. The depth of constant hospital visits and specialists crippled my mother. My father only lasted a few weeks before giving up and leaving us. I told my mom to stop looking for a cure and focus on my brothers and sister. And thankfully, she did. I spent the next 15 years by myself for the most part, except for those my laptop connected me to. School was out of the question, so I enrolled in online learning that was at your own pace style. It was hard considering just touching the mouse or clacking on the keyboard sent my heart racing and stopping suddenly, mind crashing into mental walls of anguish and blinding light overtaking all of my senses. It is hard to describe, but it was as if I tasted more than I could handle, heard more than I could process, smelled so much I became clotted, felt every molecule colliding with my body, see so clearly the spectrum of visible light separated from me for a split second. It was so overwhelming every time, but I kept going. I survived. The episode slowly grew worse, longer, harder to handle. I had to do something, but I no longer had doctor visits or specialists calling the house or coming by to see if they could figure things out. I was on my own, armed with the internet and a determination to prevail. Fast forward to today, as I speak this aloud for my computer to transcribe. I have my answer, my cure, death. As you are probably aware, there is some very taboo stuff on the internet, and as a person who literally spends his every waking moment online, I have stumbled across a lot of it. I began studying death more deeply some time ago, and it intrigued me. Something about it seemed so familiar, but I wasn't sure why. I studied what death was, how people died, what religions thought about it, what people with near-death experiences describe. It slowly became clear to me that I was dying, With every touch, sound, blink of an eye, I died and came back again and again and again. Eventually, my heart won't be able to take the constant trauma, and I will die for good, unless I can find enough helpers. As I said, I found a cure, but it isn't an easy one to obtain, and I happened upon it by accident. Yesterday, I was determined to make another attempt at outside for research and to see the world. This would make my 4th visit that I can remember of the world outside of my home. Wearing special sunglasses that block out almost all of the light and noise-cancelling headphones, I took it very slow, my power chair cruising at the slowest speed. I had died 12 times by the time I made it to the end of my driveway. Glancing up ever so slightly to one side and the next, I made sure the road was clear and began the slow crossing. As I crossed the yellow line in the middle of the road, I heard the loudest sound I'd ever witnessed, dying for the 20th time. When I came back to myself, I could feel the heat of the car crash a ways down the road, hear the screams of those inside the car and those running to help. I died 9 more times trying to get away as fast as I could before the car exploded. 7 people died that day because of me, 4 in the car and 3 who attempted to rescue them from the car before it blew. I could feel the blast on my neck as I powered away at a brisk 3 miles per hour. But I didn't die. Not that time. In fact, I made it all the way back inside my home before I succumbed to another instance of my malady, caused by the high-pitched sirens of emergency vehicle arriving on the scene. I was filled with fear, filled with hope, and it was time to experiment.